Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is NE245, Module 2. We're going to be creating a ball bounce rolling to a stop. So please download the supporting file in Module 2. Once you download it, make sure you extract it and place it into your scenes folder into your project. Once you do that, you'll just go into File, Set Project. You'll set your project to your flash drive or your hard drive, whichever you have your file on, and set that project. Okay, all right. Once you set the project, you can go to File, Open, and you should see Module 2, Ball Bounce, Roll, Stop, Start. And that's your file to go ahead and open. So you open that, and you should see this scene. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If you need a refresher on how to start a new project or how to set a project, please watch Module 1's video tutorial, introduction tutorial on how to do all that. So let's go ahead and pick up from here so I'm not wasting any of your time, your precious time. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and set up and follow a reference. So this is also a reference that is in Module 2, so seek that out, right-click on it, and go ahead and place it on your desktop or something like that so you can reference it. So what we got is an animation, a drawn animation of the key, the main keys of this animation, and that's what we're going to actually create. Are these main keyframes right now at first? Just the up and down. So that would be 1, 6, 15, 23, 30, and so on. All the ones in red. Okay, now, once we get to frame 68, it's going to roll, and we're going to let Maya do the in-betweens. Okay, so we're going to stop at 68, frame 68, and then it's going to roll. Okay. All right, so let's go back to make sure you have this open. I can't have this open and do, so I'm going to be following this on a dual monitor. And if you don't have a dual monitor, print this out or put it on your cell phone and look at it or whatever. Whatever you want to do, you need to have a reference though to see all the keyframes and then the breakdowns. All right, so let's get back to my file. And the first thing we're going to do is up down positions. So I'm going to pop that up and we're going to move that. I'm just going to type in 10 in the channel editor, channel box, under translate Y. We're going to go up to 10. Okay. Okay. So one of the things before we do any of this stuff, we need to set our timeline. I didn't do any of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to 0. And go ahead and move that time slider, and you can see that at the bottom left I'm going to click on that white tick and move it back to 0. So I do want to start at 0. And then our animation will run to, let's say, 100. Okay, just make it an even number, 100, and type an enter here. And then I'll have to take the tick to move that all the way up like this. So now we have 0 to 100 on the timeline. Okay? And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the time slider preferences. So I'm going to click on the little guy that's running away from a gear. And under time slider, okay, we can also set up the start and end time here if we want to. The main thing is to make sure your playback speed is 24 frames per second times 1. Okay. So when you do that, you can just click on save. All right. So we have our time slider ready to go. I can scrub back and forth. You guys know how to do all that stuff, so I don't have to waste any time telling you how to use the playhead and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the up and down positions. All right, at this point, I think we're just going to do keyframes on translate Y. We're not going to be moving it forward just yet, okay? So just bear with me. We're going to do the up and down position, see how that looks, see how the timing looks, and then we're going to go ahead and move it in the X, okay, axes. Okay, we're going to move it down the little floor we have here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to do a keyframe for that. So I'm just going to go into Translate, highlight it, and right-click over and go Key Selected. And then I'm just going to follow that reference we have. So I'm going to go to frame 6. I can type it in here if I want to, which I'm going to do. So I'm just going to type it in. That's much faster than trying to, some of you probably think you don't. It's faster doing it this way, whatever you want to do. Anyway, let's get to frame 6. And we want to keyframe it back down to 1. Okay, so we have a keyframe for this for 0 at translate 10. So make sure we keyframe that. Make sure that we select the arrows, because that's for movement. And this is for squash and stretch. We're not ready. We're not even close to that yet. So we're just going to use the translate controller. Okay, so 0 is a keyframe set for the Y position axes, and then we're going to move to frame 6 and move it back down again, and just type in 0 for that. Okay, so key selected, and then we're just going to go to frame 15. So I'll just type that in. Frame 15 is back up again. I'll just throw that back up there, and frame 15 is going to be at 8. So we're not quite, it's losing momentum at that point. And so I want to keyframe that. All right, so frame 23. We're going to move it back down again. Of course, that's going to be 1. Okay, and right click over that, key selected, and so on and so forth. And we're going to go to frame 30 and move that up. And frame 30 will be translate 6. So we're losing quite a bit of momentum now on this. And we're going to go ahead and right click over and key selected. So we've got keys. So we got something that looks like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it. All right, so it's losing momentum quite a bit. So we got 1 up, 6 down, 15 up, 22 down, 30 up, and then we've got to go to, and then if we look at our reference, we're at 36 now, and that is down. So we're going to go ahead and type in 1 for that. Now 0 would just put it halfway through the floor. We don't want to do that, so make sure you don't do that. And we're going to right click, and now we're not clicking on the S key because that will keyframe everything. Okay, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so we want to have certain keyframes, and I want to just keep it specific to the Y direction. So please do not hit the S key, keyframe it directly into the translate. Okay, so now we're going to go back up from 36 to 42, looking at our reference, and 42 will be up position, and 42 we're looking at 4 now. So we're losing it about 20% maybe each time it bounces. So we're at 4 on that, 42, and go ahead and keyframe that. And then at frame 47, of course, we're back down again. Okay, back down to 1. Okay, and that is 47. And then at 51, keyframes are getting closer and closer together, as you can see. Frame 51, then we are at Y to be 2, so we're bouncing up less. All right, and we're going to keyframe that, and then we're going to move to 55, and we're going to bring that back to 1 and keyframe that. Here we go. And then 62, then at frame 62 it is down. Let's see, 55, 59, 59. We're at 1, and we're going to keep that there. So let's take a look at what we have so far. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now it looks pretty good. All right. So watch it and just kind of see how the timing looks. It's not too bad. We can always fix that if we want to. So 59, we're back down again. And let's see. I think we've lost all the bounce now. I think. 2, 4, yeah, 1. Bounce is gone. So I think what we have now, and I think we might just bring that up just a little bit on 58 because we have a bounce there, and then 58. If that's been back down again, let's go to 58. And let's do 1.2, or excuse me, 1.5 up on that. And do that. There we go. And then at frame, that's 59. And that frame 62, we're going to go back down again. Of course, that'll be 1. And do that, keyframe that. And then let's go ahead and play the animation again, just to test it out, make sure it's looking okay. There we go. All right, that's pretty good. And we can see that we're just kind of, and at the very bottom, we'll have a little hop, just a little hop, maybe at 1.25 or something like that. So this one's down, and then we got up on 65, and this is just going to be a 1.25 or something like that. 1.25, and keyframe that. And then we're at 68 from the reference, 68, and that will be back at 1. And we'll keyframe that, right? And we're going to keyframe. Now it's rolling at this point after 68. It's going to roll at this point. And we're going to move to 83 at this moment, and we're going to keep that translated to 1. We don't want this to vibrate or bounce around anymore. It's going to be a static and translate Y. And then we're going to do 94. That's our last one. That's when it's rolling basically to a total stop, slowly rotating to a stop, and that's going to be, again, the key selected there. So we have keys on frame 0, 6 down, 14 up, 22 down, 30 up, 36 down, 42 up, 47 down, 51 up, 54 down, 59 up, 62 down, 65 up, 68 down, and it stays down until 82, and then 94. Okay. So let's play the animation. Let's just kind of focus on that, and we can make adjustments, but this is basically it. All right, now the reason why I have the first bounce is kind of longer than the rest of the bounces, okay? And this is something we can change, okay? If we want to change some of the timing, you guys know what to do, all right? But right now, it looks very mechanical, of course, right? We talked about that, how things look mechanical and how we can change that. So we can work on that, okay? So we can just focus on that part right here. And we're going to do that in the next video, ease in and ease out, and get that set up. All right, I'll see you in the next video.